All right, cool. All right, everyone. Good morning. Does anyone have any good news they want to share, or any stories from the weekend, or any issues you guys are having?
I want to share something.
Please do. We need good
So
news.
I
Need
saw
good
a
news.
house in Roselle on 2020, and I went door knocking, with flyers, inviting people to come to my open house. And this Friday, this lady called me and she said, she's an older lady, and she said, "Oh, do you remember you came to my house and I gave you a tour, blah, blah, blah." She said, I want you to sell my house. I want to go closer to the beach with my sisters. I was like, yeah. 2 years, 3 years later. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Good for
Okay.
you.
Yeah. See,
She said, I saved your
takes sometimes.
card. Huh?
That's how long it takes sometimes, because what you're doing is planting a seed.
Yeah.
Some plants sprout quicker than others.
Yeah. That gave me so much. I've been planting a lot of seeds lately, and I'm like, I'm gonna be good.
Oh yeah. You know what that's called? That's called compound pounding. So when you build on top of your work and you keep building on top of your work, that's compounding and you don't even realize it. So if you dropped off flyers in your neighborhood, once a month or once a quarter, and you keep doing that over and over and over again, that's compounding. It's compounding. It's compounding. The amount of times you're touching the same people, it's compounding. And before you know it, that effort you're putting in starts to just fully take a life of its own. So if you continue doing that, now I'm sure you have a very good motivation to do that. I'm sure you're going to keep seeing results like that.
It's awesome. What did you say? Compound? What?
Yeah. So there's, you guys know Ed Milet? Ed Milet, he's the one that's going to be doing a keynote speech this year at our EXP shareholders event. If you guys aren't familiar with him, you may watch a few of his videos. He's got the #1 podcast, I think, for self development, I think, in the world. He's truly a successful salesperson, but he always says he's really only good at one or two things. Like everyone says, like, "Oh my God, you're so successful, you're so rich. You said you got such a great relationship with your family and your wife and your business and all this. And how do you do it?" He's like, "To be honest with you, I'm just really good at one or two things." He's like, and I just keep doubling down on that. And the other day he was talking about how people are just really scared to just start taking the initiative and start doing, because once you start doing, when you do, that creates an effect of compound pounding, which basically means that you're building on top of your previous work. You're not just like once in a blue moon, like making a phone call. Like you consistently do the phone calls, you consistently do the flyers, you consistently do the outbound reach. You consistently do this over time, all that effort just builds on top of itself. So for instance, let me give you an example. A real estate agent that's been in the business for 30 years is going to be busier than a real estate agent that has been in the business for 30 days. The reason why is because the real estate agent has been building on top of building on top of building on relationships that they had over the years. Now, that real estate agent that's been in the business for 30 years, they, at one point or another, probably realize that the more they do of one certain thing, the more results they get. But majority of real estate agents, say probably close to 90% of real estate agents, they probably don't ever double down on that. They usually just, after they start getting a little bit of success, they start to let their foot off the gas. But imagine if that real estate agent for 30 years never let up on prospecting, never let up on door knocking or door hangers, and just continue doing it. And when they got to the point where they were too busy, then they hired other people to do it for them. Imagine if they built on that continuously, month over month, year over year, for 30 years. Do you think that real estate agent after 30 years would be more successful than they are
Yes.
just the way they are?
Yes.
Right? Think about that. All right. Anything you do over time is gonna. The Grand Canyon was carved out by water. That didn't happen overnight. It just happened over time, over time, over time. So same thing goes with your business, guys. The results may not seem like they're happening in the short term, but a lot of people don't have that long-term horizon. If you fix your mind where it's okay for me not to see dramatic changes right away, because I know it's working, because it's making me uncomfortable. I know it's working because I feel fulfilled at the end of the day, like I actually did something today. right? When you get those feelings, it means you're working towards something that's going to be big. And then when you look back over 6 months, you look back over a year, you look back over 5 years, like, whoa, like how the heck did I get here, right? I went from owning 0 houses to owning almost 50 apartments in 4 years. And I look back like, how the heck did I get here? Like, I don't know. Like, it was impossible for me to buy one. So if you guys really just start doing what really makes the results, you'll get the results as well. Anyone else have any great stories for us or anything you want to share?
I have another one. So we've been hosting seminars, and I've been doing seminars for quite a while now, but now I have gotten the right partners, I would say. So we started doing something more consistent. So now the way that we're doing is now we're gonna start doing we're gonna be doing them twice a month. So I guess it's creating consistency, and I don't know what the word is, that where people are always seeing us, right? Do it, that people are like asking, when is the next one? When is the next one? So last Saturday, 2 Saturdays, because we did one this Saturday, and 2 Saturdays before that, we had one, and it was raining, but 3 buyers came. And then yesterday we had 13 people come. So that's 13 new prospects. And then yesterday I even pulled out a board. I was like, I need you guys to see it. So I pulled out the board and I wrote down 3.5%. And I asked people how much, this is what you need to buy a $400,000 home right now. Who has this money? And everybody raised their hand. So it was cool. And the people came and they were already asking, when are you having your next one? I want to bring my friends, my family. This was very educational. So as you were saying, just that compounding on it. This was our 3rd seminar this year, home buyer seminar. So everything, once you start compounding too, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, everything starts becoming like a system. It starts getting systematic. So when we got there Saturday, it was like boom, 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 boom. It was set up, and then the execution, and we're coming up with like little strategies and stuff, and it was cool.
It is. It very much is. I hear Tony Robbins, when he first got started doing events, he didn't have anybody in the room with him. And now he fills out arenas, so it's just a matter of time before these things become full circle. So congratulations, Ivania. That is really awesome. I love hearing stories like that.
Thank you. So guys,
and I think a few of the people that have been with you,
buyers are all over the place, and I need buyer agents. So
good problem to have.
Yes.
That's awesome. Anyone else want to share anything?
I have something.
Good.
So I have somebody in my office. She's a senior agent. She's been doing real estate for over 25 years. She said to me that she's been watching my social media, and she's been watching me on Zoom, and she likes how motivated I am. So she called me a week ago, and she said to me that she wants to partner up with me because she's getting too tired of real estate. And she said, once I'm fully retired, I'm passing you all my business.
Oh, wow. Look at that blessing.
All her clients. She's Greek.
When?
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. So she's Greek, and we call her the mayor of the Greek community over here. And yesterday she was doing an open house. So she wanted me to do the open house with her, but I couldn't because my daughter had her college open house yesterday. So at the end of the day, she sent me the whole list, 12 clients.
Wow.
And the house is 1.3 million. She said, take them all.
She's tired.
Yeah, she's really tired. She already built her wealth. She's very successful. Yeah, very successful.
For her, the game is played differently at this point. It's more about
investing, I think. She bought a lot of buildings.
Yeah. For her, time is different now. She looks at the time as like, I want to spend it with my family. I want to spend it with my loved ones. You can go out there and do the work, throw me a bone here and there. That's good. Awesome. That's a really, really good news. Anyone else?
And I had my holiday on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, you did. You messaged me about that. Tell us about that.
So we do fast for 30 days every year, and it comes 15 days earlier every year. We fast from sun up to sunset, and we run on the moon calendar.
Mhm.
So the last day of fasting was Thursday night, and then Friday I was able to have breakfast.
Did you lose any weight? I know that's like
I
unexpected.
did lose 9 pounds, but that's unusual because I'm usually like in a food coma at sunset.
You know what, there's a science behind that. The longer you can go without eating, I mean, it's good for your body. It lets your body obviously perform at a higher level, but it also raises your natural growth hormone levels, and allows you also to process food differently. So that's actually a really good thing for people to try doing, is that intermittent fasting. I guess you did that, unintentionally, because it's part of your religious beliefs, but there is a lot of upside to that. Does it give you a clearer mind too? Because I know a lot of people say it does give you a clearer mind.
100%. You're more calm, more relaxed. It's all about self-discipline. Everything is in your reach, but nobody's
Mhm.
policing you but yourself.
Sure. And you're less tired too, right? Because you're not like trying to
Eating
process all that
meat.
food.
Yeah, the meat especially. Yeah, meat makes you
Yeah.
lazy. You guys are more than welcome to do it with me next year.
Yeah, you didn't invite us.
Yeah, that's it. I'll make a big dinner for you guys.
Okay. That's great. That's awesome. All right. Anyone else? If not, we're gonna get started. Cool. All right. I think I'm gonna need a volunteer for today's presentation. Is there anyone right now who is like seriously stuck on working on their business and kind of just wants to give me like your day to day, what you're doing, and how, or maybe even if you're not stuck, maybe if you're doing really well, but you feel like you could be doing more, or you feel like you have reached your capacity as far as production or creativity or marketing or anything like that. Is anyone in that position where you want to share and kind of be the example today?
I
I
think
can
all of
share.
us.
All of us, right? Well, maybe we'll take turns. Maybe we'll take examples from few different people.
I
So,
can
is anyone?
share.
Oh, good. Who
Yeah,
was that?
that's me,
Oh,
Ivania.
Ivania. Okay, good.
So
All right, Ivania.
I actually started taking action. So we're talking about discipline and compounding. So I have gotten to, as I asked you guys before, now we have 13 new prospect buyers that they all raise their hands saying they have that money on the mattress. So I have been dealing the whole year, I would say, with the imposter syndrome. Acknowledging that my business is going in a different way, that I'm not just an agent. I started a team last year, so I've been planting seeds, as I mentioned, and things are starting to come out. It doesn't happen right away, but for me, it was more of a mindset and mentality thing. And I'm a curious person by nature, so I ask a lot of, and Louis can tell you this, I ask a lot of questions. And I read something once that, forever changed my life. It said, you don't have to pave a new road. You only have to stand on the shoulders of the giants that are paving the way. So I'm a single mom. I cannot come up with like new ways, right? So I always ask questions. Hey, Louis, how do you do this? Hey, Louis, how do you do that? And if it's working out for you, I'm gonna partner up with you, even if I have to pay. You have to pay in life with time or money, right? So what I did this year, I was feeling a little bit okay. How do I have to? How can I get to? I was feeling stuck. How do I get to the next level? What do I have to do? So for me, it was going back to time blocking, really time blocking and doing things. That's what I do every day. My calendar is full. I started time blocking, and it's hard because if you're doing a task and you have to jump to the next one, just leaving that in there that is not done, it kind of feels like daunting, but it's actually a good thing. So
Yeah.
I actually put myself in a coaching program 2 weeks ago so that I can be more disciplined. And I feel like my biggest problem was I keep people accountable, but I don't have anyone to keep me accountable. So now I went and got me somebody that's going to keep me accountable, and that's making a big difference. The other day we were talking with Chris too about working out and stuff. So I actually started doing that too. I started a 75 hard challenge because I felt I was gaining a lot of weight because I was depressed, and I wasn't really eating. I think it was just the stress. So I push myself now to do 2 workouts a day, and that doesn't get any easier, but it keeps me okay. I gotta get this because I gotta get the workouts done. I gotta get those. So once you have a structure, and you're accountable for it, you got to get things done. There's a lot of distractions, and I got really, really distracted to what it let me. It kind of gave me freedom, I would say, but I heard something one time too, like having freedom doesn't mean you're free, right? We tied up I was becoming a slave to my distractions, I would say, that felt like freedom, like, oh, let me go out tonight, like tomorrow, let me have a drink here, a drink there, let me go this, let me make that phone calls later, or let me not make phone calls today, or things like that. And I need structure. So for me, it's just structure and the right coaches, and just in order to get to the next level, you have to find the people that are already there. And I was feeling really stuck. So that's why I was like, okay, I need to make this sacrifice and go put myself into this coaching program. And it takes 2 hours of my day. So that's a big chunk. And
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be this hard.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm going to build off of what you just said, but from what I'm understanding so far from you, Ivania, is the fact that it's not that you don't know what to do, and it's not that you don't know what really gets you results. I think what you're saying is that for a lot of us, the problem is that we're not disciplined. We haven't built that muscle up yet. We're not disciplined enough to hold ourselves accountable. It's a lot easier to hold others accountable, but it's really difficult to hold yourself accountable. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So
Because I
you
don't have
begin getting,
anybody, asking me, hey, did you make your calls? Hey, did you do this? So I'm always doing it for people, but I had to find
yeah,
somebody to do it for me.
sure. Yeah, you know what, guys, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. That's the biggest problem for myself as well. Like when we used to work at an office atmosphere, it wasn't that hard to do the heavy lifting because other people were doing the heavy lifting around you. And when you see other people making calls or getting listings or doing these other things, it's more motivating for you to do that as well. If you see a small group doing role play, you jump in, you do role play. If you see other people doing marketing, you ask them, oh, what's working for you? What kind of marketing are you doing, right? So yeah, having an accountability person, like Ivania said, even if you got to pay that person, because sometimes we've all been there. We pick an accountability partner, and then that accountability partner falls off, and then that gives you kind of the right to say, okay, well, they fell off, so now I can use them as an excuse to stop doing it too, right? But
Yeah.
someone you pay is contractually obligated to, and I say that kind of weird, has a contractual obligation to you to meet with you at the times they said they were going to meet and provide the value they said they were going to provide. And if they don't, you get rid of them, so you get
Yeah.
someone else. But the number one thing that they're doing is they're looking at your numbers. And if they're not looking at your numbers, you need to get a different coach. They're looking at your numbers. They're looking at your stats. They're looking at, how you've progressed as a person. That's why for some people I've said, look, if you have a hard time communicating, your tonality, maybe you have fear of speaking in front of people or getting in front of the camera, join Toastmasters. For like $20 a year, you'll be accountable to a group of people in person where you'll have to do a presentation once a week and get out of that shell that you've been in your whole life, So there's a lot of ways, even if you're not able to pay somebody $1,000 a month, let's say for some high-end coaches, you pay that much, even more. You could start off with maybe a group, of people, because if one person falls off, there's still other people, So maybe that would work a little bit better. Or if there's, people on this call who are serious about it, you guys do a call together once a day or once a week, however many times you think it's necessary. But there's other ways to build yourself. Now, Ivani has gotten to the point where she's more successful. So she's like, what, I'm going to reinvest my money into myself. But now that we've gotten to that part, we've gotten to the part now where you figured out you need accountability. You figured out the fact that it's not that you don't have the skill, it's the fact that you want you want someone to make sure you're doing it. Now, let me ask you this. What's the next question that you have? What is the next thing that you feel is kind of a secret that you haven't unlocked yet?
For me, it's, as I said, I've been dealing a lot with, and not just in the business aspect, life. I'm on a journey. You guys know I'm going through a divorce. So this divorce, I feel it was like as horrible as it sounds, it was really necessary in my life, because I now am able to see myself for who I am, I would say, because of how, like, sometimes you have to fall flat on your face, right, to get up and clean up and be like, all right, there I am. So I've been on a personal journey, which my coach keeps saying, your personal life reflects on your business. So I've been on a personal journey that I have been dealing, I would say, for most of my life with imposter syndrome, because I come from dirt streets. I used, like, my house was cinder blocks with tin roofs. We had no paved streets, and here I am in America, and I don't even have documents. I'm a DACA student. I'm DACA dreamer. I'm a single mother. I have 3 kids, and now I have a team. And who do you think you are, right? Like, that's the things that I hear in my head. Who do you think you are? You leading people, you hosting meetings. Now you need buyers agents, like all these things in my head, besides in business, that and my personal life. So for the first time, I think I have been able to, now I see me. And for me, the hardest part, it's at this moment, my next thing, Louis, is just embracing who I am at this stage in the process, without just embracing this is who I am. And I guess there's always that something, like, I feel like there's something, that mentality holding me back, right? You guys, when I first started real estate, the person that I learned from, the way that I learned from him, and Luis was saying, even if you don't have money, you pay with time. I used to pick this person up from 9 o'clock in the morning until midnight that we will finish. I would drive him around, and I learned so much for a year, just the time. But after he used to tell me, I would say little things, and he's like, there it is, the mentality. There it is, the mentality. Because we are in a different world. When we educate ourselves, we're business owners, and just think, it's like buying a car or having a lease, right? Like little things like that stick in your head. Like, oh, I'm not gonna go get a lease because what if I don't have work and then I cannot pay and they're gonna come and take my car? But why do I do things like that way? So for me, it's that mentality. I'm working on my mentality this year. Just, okay, you are a team leader, and just Kendall, I would say, leading myself in a way where I lead as a leader, and not, my responsibilities are different than my assistant's responsibilities, right? So having that mentality that it is okay for you to have responsibilities that are at a different pay grade, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So one of the things you mentioned that a lot of people suffer with, including the guy I spoke to you guys about earlier, the fact that you mentioned that term, imposter syndrome. Ed Milet was just actually talking about that in the same podcast that I was talking to you guys about earlier, that he suffers with imposter syndrome to this day. And the guy is worth almost like $1 billion. It's the guy's immensely rich. But the takeaway from it is that it never really goes away, right? And it's always kind of there, because unless we were born, and the gift, the curse that you think you have is actually your gift. Because if you were born rich, you wouldn't have the hunger you have. You wouldn't have the strive or the need to get to that next level. As a matter of fact, you would be weaker, because you would have started your life off at the top. And where do you go from the top? It's hard to go any higher, right? So a lot of people who are born with that silver spoon actually don't end up becoming much in life. They end up just inheriting a lot of the wealth or the the assets or whatever that their family already had, which makes them more domesticated. What means you put that person out in the wild, they'll never really know what it takes to build up from nothing. But since you have built up from nothing, you got all the chips stacked against you. That means that you're more worthy than someone who was born with it already, right? And the other thing I want you to remind yourself, before I actually really get into the topic of today, another thing I want you to remind yourself, when any of you get into that mindset that I'm not really worthy, or I feel like an imposter because I know where I come from, and like these people are rich, or maybe they don't look like me, or these people that I'm representing have vastly more money than me, like all of that stuff. I get it. I know what you mean. I had an agent who said I could never work with an American white person because I feel inferior. And then after working with him for many months, he then one day shows up with an American white lady. I'm talking about the whitest of the white ladies you could ever imagine. Comes to the office to meet with him. He treats her like literally like any other client, so comfortable in his own skin. And after she left, I said to him, bro, I'm so proud of you. Like, did you realize you just dealt with an American white lady, and you're a Colombian with an accent, and you held it down without even stuttering or nothing, being nervous, did great. He was like, yeah, bro, I was so nervous, but I don't know how I did. I was like, bro, you did it. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how you did it, but you did it. Like, we, a lot of times, are our own worst enemies because we tell ourselves that certain people don't like us, or that we can never work with certain affluent people because we're not like them, whatever. And that's all in your head. We're all bleeding red. We all breathe oxygen. We all have the same needs and wants and desires. Everybody is very similar in many ways. But what I want to remind you is the next time you feel that way is, who were you made in the image of, right? You were made in the image of God. So if God made you, he didn't make you to be inferior to someone else. He made you with every single imperfection and perfection that you were meant to have. And anything else that gets in your head that stands between you and what you want, it's not really you. It's the enemy putting those seeds in your head, those seeds of doubt. And you have a choice to make. Do you fulfill the destiny that God knew you could have, and God made you perfect in every way? Because even your imperfections are perfect, because your imperfections make you better. Or are you just going to listen to that little voice in your head that tells you you're not like them? They're never going to accept you, and you don't even look like them. You're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too tall, you're too short. It's even the most beautiful people in this world suffer with that. And you think to yourself, they're so beautiful. Why are they getting plastic surgery? Because they listen to that little voice, right? So for us, it's necessary to get over that. And we all going to do it in a different way. Some might take longer than others, and others less time than some. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is how we can use technology to help us with all of these next level problems that we're having. Because no matter whether you're in Ivania's shoes, where you're ready to start a team and you're ready to progress to that next level, it really comes down to, we have questions, and we don't know how to grow once we get to a certain point. Like we don't grow like this, like a straight line. We grow like stairs. We grow, then we level out. We grow and we level out. Right? That's kind of how we grow. So right now we have the opportunity to grow at an exponential rate that we've never had before. And this training is probably going to take place probably over the next 4 weeks plus, probably. And I'm going to start today with just the basics of it, and how we can get introduced to it, and how we can use it at a very low level, at a very basic level, right? So Ivania mentioned that she suffers with an imposter syndrome type of mentality, right? So the first thing I would want to do is find out, is there anyone out there who has written a book on this? Is anyone out there who has talked about this in detail, and maybe is a subject matter expert on this? Right? How would you do that? Right? You would probably go on and jump on your computer and search Google and see if are there any books on being how would you say imposter syndrome or self-saboteur, right? Something like that. And then Google would spit you out a dozen books, right? Then you got to figure out, okay, how do I take these dozen books and pick the one that's the right one for me? And then when do I find the time to read this book, right? Like it's all like, it's a step, right? Everything is a process. And it may take you, who knows, a week or a month to read that book and then get some talking points out of it. What if I told you that you could take that book right now for free, have the best 10 points of the book just given to you, and then you can take away everything you needed to know from that book in a matter of minutes, right? You'd be like, wow, that sounds pretty good. Like, what is it? Like one of those abbreviated book apps or something, where it just kind of gives you the points. I mean, you could do it that way, but that still takes time, and you still have to listen to it. And it's probably abbreviated down to like a quarter or a fifth of its traditional size. What you guys have right now is equivalent to the internet back in the early 90s, or maybe even a little bit past the early 90s, because it's advanced a lot. Today, we're going to be talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and a lot more than just ChatGPT. We're going to talk about in the coming weeks. We're going to talk about how you can use artificial intelligence and pair it up with automation. So not only can you have a lot of tasks kind of done for you and figured out in a very short term, and you could be a subject matter expert in minutes on anything, but you can actually utilize artificial intelligence to actually perform things for you, almost like an assistant, right? And there's been so much development in just the last few months since ChatGPT really came online, that I think by the time we're done with our presentations here, maybe in a couple weeks time, maybe 4 weeks time, it'll probably be even more things to talk about. That's why I think this thing may go on for a while. We'll check in, maybe from time to time after our series is over. But let's start with the basics, right? I'm going to give you guys really just a low level type of presentation today on figuring this out. So let me just check on some of these chats. Oh yeah, people said they know Ed Milet. Talk to you. Okay. All right. So now let me share my screen. Let's see if I can do that here. Yeah, here we go. Share.
Louis,
Yes?
Louis, I just want to say thank you so much for coming back to Instagram.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more of that because I really just I found a way to kind of fit it into my schedule. So thank you for giving me also the push I needed.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, your videos are so inspirational.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Sarah. And we're going to talk about that today too, and how I'm using AI to help me make those videos. All right, let's start that. All right. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So right now I'm jumping over, and remember, I'm on my phone, guys. You should really be doing this on your laptops or your computers. So right now I'm on my phone. You guys can see my chat GPT.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What are the top books on imposter syndrome? Okay. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. And excuse me, guys, if it's like super crowded right now, or maybe I have to log off and log back on, because sometimes ChatGPT does that. So let's read what it has to say here. So imposter syndrome is a psychological phenomenon where people doubt their abilities and fear being exposed as a fraud. It can be debilitating, conditions that affect many people, including high achievers. Here's some of the top books on imposter syndrome. So let's just try to see what I mean. This website gets so much traffic, guys, that this happens. I mean, how many people have tried using ChatGPT and you can't even log on?
Right.
Let me try that again.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the secret thoughts of successful women. Look, that first one sounds like a very good one for you, Ivani. Why capable people suffer from imposter syndrome and how to thrive in spirit, right? By Valerie Young. So let's just take that first one. And tell ChatGPT, and you, oh yeah, it was an error. It's okay. Secret thoughts of successful women. Sorry, my internet's a little slow because I'm on cellular. I'm trying to run the meeting while I'm trying to chat here, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to do. Let me see if I can start a new conversation. New chat. Guys, I'm back. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I think the internet went out on me. Okay, we're going back. All right, good.
And I'm
So
doing
we're
this
back on
simultaneously
ChatGPT.
with you.
Louis, I can do this.
Okay,
for
so
you
I'm going to
if
ask
you
it,
want me to.
summarize.
I can share my screen.
Yeah, I may have to,
Tell me
but
what
let's
to
just
say.
try. Yeah, I may have to, but let's see if I can do it here, and maybe we'll get to do that instead.
Okay, cool.
So I'm telling you right here, summarize this book for me. Okay, can you do it for me? Because since I'm trying to
Yes.
run the
So,
meeting,
if
it
you
looks
wanna
like I'm
give
having a
me-
lot of problems here. So let me give you, You may not need it. You may not need it. Let me just stop mine. Try getting on by yourself without me giving you permission. And if it does
Okay.
request it, then I'll give it to you.
All right, can you guys see my screen?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh yeah. So Cassandra's asking what site we're on. So Cassandra, we're on a site called OpenAI, and there is a platform that you could use on there called ChatGPT, GPT, right? So what this is basically kind of like Google on steroids. So you know how you can ask Google something that gives you a bunch of results? But what this does is actually talks to you like the most intelligent human being you could think of. Like, you know, that smart friend we all have? Imagine that times like 100. So it will literally tell you anything that you have questions on. Yesterday, I asked it, can you, I told it, I'm 168 pounds, I'm 5'10", I have 14% body fat. I want to get down to 10% body fat. Can you write me a diet that I can follow? It literally gave me a
Wow.
diet in like 5 seconds. And it told me what to do, how many times a day to eat, what, like this normally you would have paid hundreds of dollars for on a monthly basis to a trainer.
Yeah.
And I can then tell it, you know what, I don't like fish. Can you give me a new one without fish? You know what, can you switch up my diet on next month and give me something different? And then I said, look, I'm going on vacation. I'll be here for 9 days. I said, I'll be in this city, and this city for 3 days each. Can you give me the best itinerary with the best things to do during those 9 days? It gave me an itinerary in 2 seconds. I said, can you give me a backup itinerary in case it rains? It gave me a backup itinerary. So now I'm like, in 5 seconds, I was done with all of that. Normally you would have went on TripAdvisor, looked at the reviews, like you're saving so much time now with everything and anything you need done. So now go to start a new conversation,
Okay.
right? So on the conversation, say, give me the top books for imposter syndrome. And I'm getting somewhere with this, guys. You're going to learn a lot today with the time we have and how you can apply this to your business. Okay, is the first book something that sounds interesting to you? Because I can't really see it on my screen because
Yes,
I'm on
it
my
says
phone.
the secret thought of
Okay.
successful women. Then it has
Okay.
imposter syndrome. This one sounds better for me. A 30-day plan to stop feeling like a fraud, because I need
Oh,
plan. I have realized I'm a structured person.
Okay,
I need
so
all.
copy number 2. Yeah, right there. Copy that. And then in the message underneath it, say, can you please summarize this book for me? Okay, now scroll down.
It just tells me.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Okay.
really tell. It doesn't really summarize. Maybe it
Okay.
regenerates.
No. It's just telling you what the book is about, right? Cool. So it's telling you what the book is about. Now I want you to go back and say, can you give me the best 10 takeaways from this book? Or maybe it's giving you some more information now. Okay. You don't even have to say the name again.
While she's typing that, I just want to let you know that I am doing this simultaneously and I got a different set of books. So
Cool.
not everybody
Because
gets
it
the same
learns.
information.
Because once you have a profile, it learns. I did my last video, and I actually was in a training with Micah 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, that she did a training on this, and this actually learns how you. It learns your. It's cool because it learns who you are. So I asked it to write a script for me for a video that I was gonna do, and then I asked her, make it sound like me, and then it did, and I was just like, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now you got the 10 talking points now from the book,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
So you said you're the kind of person that needs an action plan, right? So
Yeah.
so now let's say this to it. Can you create a 30-day action plan for me with these principles?
Oh wow.
How crazy is that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It breaks it down by weeks too.
Mhm.
On week 3, you're gonna do this on each day.
Yeah, so now do any of us now have an excuse of why we can't get past something psychological or something that we don't know? Like nowadays, like since Google, no one can say, look, I don't do this because I don't know how, right? Now we really can't say that because now we have the world's most advanced teacher right now in our pocket, right? We can learn anything we want, anything at
Yeah.
all. You know, so if Ivani wants to do a new calling script this week for her calling group, for her dialogue class or the role play class, you can just tell ChatGPT, hey, can you write me a good script for sale by owner? But I want you to sound very friendly in the beginning, not like a robot. And how do I build rapport along the way as well? Can you write something for me, right? It'll write it for you. And if you don't like it because it doesn't sound enough like you can have it tweaked. You can tell it, hey, can you do it like if Snoop Dogg was the one calling? And then it would do
Oh,
it
you can
Snoop
make it
Dogg's
sound
voice.
like Snoop Dogg too. When we
You can do
were
anything you want.
when we were in the training with Micah, she made it sound. She said, "Oh, write me this description, but make it sound like Kevin Hart." And it was like,
Yeah.
"Yo," and like it was funny.
Right. Right, exactly. So now, Ivani, let me ask you a question. Do you ever have to read things to stay on top of real estate?
I mean, I would
So
love
go
to keep
to
reading books, but with this, we don't even have to read anymore.
yeah. So you want to stay on top of what's going on in the real estate world, right? So I want you to do something. Go to a Google page and type in latest real estate news.
Oh, guys, I have before I forget, I got my first international deal. So we're signing documents today. It's gonna be crazy. So I'm gonna be calling you a lot because apparently in Dominican Republic there's no digital ink, but I actually, yeah, it's good. Told you, imposter syndrome.
That's great. That'd be amazing. Okay, so click on one of the first ones that's not a sponsored ad.
I think keeping current matters is a good one, though. No?
Okay,
Inman,
you click on that one
I like
as long as
Inman.
you're able to. The thing I don't like about Inman is that you have to have a paid subscription to see them. So
Oh,
when you
okay.
click on it, it's going to tell you to read more. Yeah, to
How
read
about
more, you got
this
to pay.
one, New Jersey
So go on
Real
one,
Estate Report or CBS?
click on anything you want. Yeah, anything you want. Yeah, click on New Jersey Real Estate Report. Click on it. Good. All right. Okay, good. Copy the URL.
Put it here.
No, copy the URL. Go back to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried this yet. Tried it live. Type in there right before the URL. Type in TLDR.
TLDR.
T like Thomas. T like Thomas. L like Larry. D like David. R like Robert. Okay. What TLDR means? Phone didn't read. Okay. Now let's see what it says.
What does it mean?
Too long didn't read. If you
Oh,
too long didn't read. So I don't know if you guys. So when you hear people say, "Hey, what's the TLDR on it?" That's what that means. Okay. So click enter. I want to see what happens.
That's when people send you those text messages that are like that. TLDR. Okay. It says, as an AI language model, I am unable to access external website, including New Jersey Report. Wow.
Okay. Okay. So let's do this. Go back to that Google page. There's a way to hack it, but I haven't been able to do that yet. Go back to that New Jersey page.
Yeah, a minute.
Copy the text. So just copy it and scroll it down.
Copy what text? All of it?
Yeah, all of it from tick, 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 all the way down. Or you could just click on it and hit, yeah, you could just click on it and hit Control A, Command A if you're on a Mac.
Yeah. Oh, and then put it in ChatGPT?
Yeah, dump into ChatGPT.
Do I put TLDR again?
Yeah, you could do that.
TLDR.
And then
Oh, so I
space.
need to copy the same thing.
You probably didn't copy it. Go back.
So Command A, but then then copy?
And then, yeah, then copy it and Command C. Now go back.
Okay, no.
All right, did you get everything? Hopefully you got everything, right? Okay, cool.
Now it says the message you submitted was too
Google?
long.
Okay, all right. Clear it, or you can start a new one. Okay, so what you can do here is if you go back to the website that you were on, right there, let's just say, yeah,
Maybe just one
let's just say,
instead of like.
yeah, you just take it manually because it might have taken like a lot of different things.
So,
Okay, now it's going to explain to you what this means, and it's going to give it to you in a summarized manner. Now, right now, yeah, now right into the message box. Explain this to me like I was a 10-year-old. So what's happening here, guys, is that we're able, let's just say you have a meeting today, right? And you don't know what to talk about with the client because the client wants to sell their house and you don't know, they want to know the status of the market. We don't know the status of the market from a day-to-day basis, right? We don't know what's going on. So what we can do is pull up the top news, have ChatGPT read through it and explain it to us. And then if we still don't understand it, because I know sometimes they use like terms that we're not familiar with, financial terms, lingo that's not common to us is more for like people that are in the market. It could literally translate it for you and tell you something in a matter of seconds, so you can be kind of have at least more knowledge about the matter than they do. You can do so much with this, and then obviously next week I'll give you guys a shortcut on doing this because I know there's a way you can just copy the URL and it'll show it to you. So that is one of the things you can do. So now next, a lot of us, and as Sarah said to me earlier today, hey, you're back on, I'm glad you're back on creating content, right? One of the main reasons why a lot of people stop creating content or never start to create content is because they get what's called creator burnout. You guys ever heard of that term, burnout?
yes.
Creator burnout is basically, yeah, it's like writer's block. It's basically where you get to the point where you don't know what to talk about next. You run out of ideas. You don't know what's going to perform well, what's not going to perform. There's so many things that go through your head, right? So what you could do is you can just go here to ChatGPT and say, I want to create videos about Nutley, New Jersey. What are the top 10 things I can talk about? Type that in. Right. Good. You see how quick that was? 10 ideas here. You may not like all 10 ideas. You may like 7 of them. You may like one of them. It doesn't matter because you can also tell it regenerate response. You see right there where it says regenerate response? It means you don't like anything that they said and it'll give you 10 new fresh ideas. And it'll never run out of ideas. It'll always give you 10 fresh ideas. So now let's just say you do like one of these ideas. So you just tell ChatGPT, can you create me a script for number 1?
Okay.
You can even be more specific. Can you create me a script for number 1 in a funny, friendly tone for a video 10 minutes long? Or for a short, or for a YouTube short. You could do it either way.
Oh my God. I love technology. I really, really, really,
Yeah.
I really love
Then-
technology.
Then tell it,
It
hey,
even
can you
gives
give
me
me
the
the,
places I need to go. I don't even have to find the
Yeah.
places.
yeah, and then tell it, can you create a viral, can you create a viral title for this video?
You are gonna upload this. I have to jump off.
Time
No worries.
traveling in Nutley, New
Okay.
Jersey. Top 10 hilarious historical sites you need to see.
Yeah, now tell it, give me the 3 best hashtags for this video. There you go. You
Yeah.
see, it does work for you now. And in next week's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can even create the thumbnail with AI. You don't even have to be a design person, graphic design expert anymore, right? So we always, what kind of camera do you use? You know, what kind of all this stuff, and it's all too much thinking. It's overthinking. You know, sometimes the best videos you can make are the ones on the fly. But in case you really want to start taking your marketing, because this is what this is, to the next level. Now we can have the video ideas ready, right? Now we can have hashtags ready. Now we can have even the description, because you know every video needs a description, right? So what you could do now is say, can you
I think he got disconnected.
Yeah,
But this is really cool.
it's a big time saver.
Oh yeah. And it gives you the idea, so there's no excuse. We don't even have to think anymore.
I know.
And it's free. I keep hearing it's going to, people are gonna start charging because it's becoming such a great thing. So let's use it and abuse it while it's free, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are going to start charging. It's not free right now, guys, but it's you know what? I knew this topic was going to come up. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, good. I was lost for a sec. Yeah, so ChatGPT right now is kind of like, and I hate to use this comparison, but it's kind of like the corner drug dealer that gives you your first hit for free, where you get to the point where you need it and then they charge you for it. That's exactly what this is. That's what this is going to turn into. But it's a, guys, I'm telling you right now, it's worth its weight in gold for anyone.
This is crazy. I think we lost him again.
Yeah, I think so.
So, guys, I keep going out. My internet's not that good. So what I'm saying is that it's going to be a game changer for everyone. It's almost like the advent of the internet. It's going to allow us to be more efficient with less people. A lot of companies already laid off a big percentage of their employees because they're using AI now to do a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the stuff that creatives had to do, a lot of things that people had to research. You know, a lot of those jobs are now not so necessary anymore because of AI. So thoughts so far, anybody?
Do you think it's going to put teachers out of business?
Teachers, I think it's going to put a lot of information-based learning at a disadvantage. So you know what, teachers are teachers, right? I feel that teachers in the future may end up going away because of AI. That is a very big possibility, because why would would someone pay a teacher who, remember, teachers are flawed. Teachers can get drunk on a weekend and not show up on Monday. Teachers can molest children. Teachers can indoctrinate children. A lot of things that teachers do. Now, if you can use an AI, hopefully it's a non-biased AI that doesn't have like political agendas or anything to shove down kids' throats. An AI would probably be a superior teacher than a teacher is today, just because it would have all of the world's knowledge at its disposal. So our kids in the future, if they're being taught by AI, will be vastly more intelligent than we were at similar ages, right? So yeah, I think that's the future of it. But in the short term, I think that it's gonna take some time, and obviously that's gonna go through a lot of political back and forth. But I think that information-based learning, such as, let's just say, I want to I want to buy a course where I learn how to make YouTube videos. That may go
Mhm.
away because that course that you used to have to pay $400 or $500 for, now you don't have to, because you can learn that same information on ChatGPT. Now let's say I want to learn how to speak a different language. Now you don't have to pay for Duolingo like I just did a couple months ago or a month ago for my daughter, even though she uses it. You can learn how to speak another language with ChatGPT, and there's some other apps that are even better. I'm telling you guys right now, today I only covered ChatGPT because it's the fundamental layer. It's just the
I think we lost him again.
Lewis always
Yeah.
brings us what's new and what's current and what's
I
trending.
know, right? And Louis,
Yeah.
Louis
I always
loves
feel
knowledge.
smarter by coming here.
Yeah, yeah. That's what attracted me to him. He's
Mm.
always learning.
I am
He
really
is
sorry.
very smart. Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
really sorry.
Yeah.
Let me just put it this way. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and I'm not going to go on carry on too long today because my internet is horrible. I will tell you this much: what we're going to learn in the weeks to come is going to blow your mind. If you thought this was good, I'm going to teach you guys how to. Yeah, I'm going to teach you guys how to use AI to
Mhm.
find out who is the person that's most likely to sell their house on your block. That's
Wow.
crazy, right?
Wow.
Wow.
It'll,
Well,
Yeah.
Louis, you became the
it'll be
man.
able to
You're
create.
the man today.
He's always been.
You
Yeah.
guys, you
Yeah.
guys are gonna love
While
that.
you're in and out, we're all here like, we love Louis. He's teaching
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you guys, if you don't learn a new skill set, you will quickly be left behind. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that all you guys, if you're investing your time in,
Oh, we lost
Oh
him.
no.
I wonder what I want to ask him what happened to his internet.
Right? I
Did
think
they
he
have bad
always
weather?
on internet too.
I don't know. Louis, do you guys have bad weather in Florida?
so sorry. Yeah,
Why
so
is your
quick
internet
prayer.
weak?
Any closing thoughts?
Why
Why
is
is
your
it weak?
internet weak?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Louis,
I
did you
just,
pay the
Naples
bill?
is notorious for having bad internet.
Louis, did you pay the bill?
I'm pretty sure we did, because we have Xfinity coming over this week, and I think they would have troubleshooted the fact that, hey, you degenerate, you didn't pay your bill, that's why it doesn't work. So yeah, I don't think it's that. But let me just say this much, guys. I want everyone to use AI this week in a personalized way and report back next week with what you did with it. I'd love to learn from you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm just going to close out with a prayer before I lose you guys.
Wait. Let's take a picture.
Okay.
Just for that other job that we have in
Awesome.
social media. Okay.
Yeah.
One. Louis, can you come back on or no?
I don't.
Okay, let's 1, 2, 3, cheese. Thank you guys.
Yeah, this is going to be fun trying to upload these team videos today. Sorry, guys. Go ahead. I'm here. You may not see me, but I'm back.
Yeah, no, now we just have to pray.
Okay. Father, we thank you today for having us here. Father, we thank you for the information that you're allowing us to share with each other, Lord. We also thank you for all the opportunities and the things that haven't worked out on our way, like we spoke about today, Father. Sometimes our imperfections are the things that make us truly great in your eyes. And we ask you, Father, to continue blessing us with everything we need in order to complete our lives. We ask you to keep us healthy and our families healthy, and we ask you to keep us in your hands always, and allow us to come back next week in good health, Father. In Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Have a good week.
Amen.
Have a good week,
Thank you guys.
I
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That GPT stuff.
All right, guys, take care. See you next week. Take care, guys.